Good morning, Sanford here, inspirational life coach to the arts, the art of sport, the art of entertainment, and the art of life. William James, the author, wrote, "Most people live physically, mentally, or morally in a restricted bubble of their potential life. We have a reservoir of a life to draw from, of which we never dream." I spent the last 2 weeks researching with 25 of my athletes and 25 of my parents. And I asked a question and I said, why is it that you don't open up to a life coach when you have problems, issues, or you come to a crossroad in your life? And more than half of each of those groups said these three answers. I don't want to talk to a stranger about my life. I don't want to be judged about my life or seem weak in front of people. And this one I found very interesting. They said, well, I ask my family and friends sometimes about some of my problems, and they simply tell me to suck it up and get on with it. So why would I pay someone to tell me the same thing? Well, I just wanted to do this talk today to tell you why I'm a life coach. Now, as most of you know, I am a youth life coach, but I get a lot of adults who come to me as well to talk to a stranger about their life. Because a stranger is not emotionally connected and involved in all the little ties and all the little arguments and all the little issues that circulate throughout a family or a friendship. So they're able to look at it objectively, which I do. But I just wanted to say that the reason that I'm a life coach is it's happened out of want, need, and necessity. Okay? The necessity is quite clear, and I'm going to be very transparent with you. Yes, I make a living doing this. I get paid for this, just as you get paid to do your job or your passion. So I just want to make that totally clear. That's the necessity. The need is, look, I've made, as a human being, I've made probably every family mistake, every relationship mistake, every business mistake, every friendship mistake there is to be made, showing that I am human and that I can relate to what's going on for you and perhaps help you work through those in the unique way that I do. But at the end of the day, it's not about me, it's about you. When you allow yourself, just like you want your kids or you want your friends or you want your relationship to open up so you can then reach another level in that relationship, I want to help you open up so you can reach a whole new level in the relationship with you. So that's the need. And the want is, I work with a lot of kids. I work with a lot of adolescents, youth, and they start to open up because my methods that I use are varied. Yeah, I've done all the research and study and that sort of thing, but it's not that really wakes me up each day and connects me with people. It's my everyday language. It's my straightforwardness. It's my simplicity. Also, I use some very physical aspects in my coaching. One is fitness. I use the fitness aspect. I use the tumbling aspect. So I work with athletes if they come from a tumbling background or cheerleading background or they just want to learn to do flips. I start with the basics and work that up as a part of their grounding of their coaching, okay, of our relationship. The other is I use theater, so acting games and techniques. And then I also use juggling, okay, because juggling requires that you learn from the beginning. It teaches you patience. It teaches you simplicity. It teaches you how to breathe and come back to your center. So I use those 4 methods in my coaching, okay? And that allows me to help the kids to start to open up. Now, the kids will only open up as much as the parents are involved in the process as well. So I just wanted to make that clear. You know, sometimes when I go to schools and I run programs, I work with the kids and I never ever see the adults, the teachers, the principals, and the administrative staff. And sometimes the kids feel disconnected from the whole process, or they seem disconnected from the school because they want the school and the adults to be involved in their life. And this is where a lot of people kind of fall down, because they believe that kids don't want their parents involved, or they don't want the school involved. They do. They're trying to tell you in the way that they tell you. And so I help to fuse this sort of relationship so schools can understand how to be involved with the students. I fuse this so the parents can see how to be involved with their children. And I fuse this so each of my clients, whether it's a family group, whether it's a group that people have just come together on, a program that I put together in a group, or whether it is one-on-one client, so they can have that relationship with themselves as well. Now, my want is simply to understand that the statistics are very staggering in the things that go on in the psyche of a person. One statistic that stands out is that there is 21% of our youth committing self-harm and committing suicide. Okay? And so what I want us to recognize with that particular statistic is that we don't just grow out of this stuff. Okay? How many of you have heard PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder? Okay? And it's not just for war veterans. It's not just for police. It's not just for domestic violence, for women or men or kids. This stems through whatever process, whatever trauma a person's gone through, which can be totally different from for each person. But they're traumatized by that, and they carry that from their childhood to their teen years, to their 20s, their 30s, their 40s, their 50s. You know, again, suicide for men in their 70s and 80s is in the 35 to 40 percentile. Okay? And a lot of the self-harm is done by young women. Simple case in point. I had one of my friends call me and told me that she was at the hospital. This was probably a month and a half ago, that her sister had did a bottle of drugs, tried to kill herself. I was talking to my sister in the States about one of my nieces. She had broken up with her boyfriend, and her grades started going down in school, and she started not doing so well in her athletics, and she didn't tell anyone about it in an overt way. But then she tried to cut her wrist. She tried to kill herself. The statistics are very staggering out there. And again, what I want to help do is to simplify the process. As a life coach, one, my prices are lower than most psychologists, okay? Two, as I said, I've made many mistakes in my life, and I can relate to those mistakes and hopefully step out in front and get people to look in front before they run into the brick wall or that hit rock bottom, where they want to start taking their own lives, or self-harming, or thinking terrible, extra destructive thoughts about themselves. And I just want to also pass on this little statistic here. It says here that evidence shows that 3 in 4 mental health conditions emerge by the age of 24, and half by the age of 14. Okay, so it's not just the numbers that are there. It's your child that's in front of you. It's your friends that are in front of you. It's strangers that you see around you. You can sense that people are in pain. So as a life coach, I can relate. As a life coach, I want to help. Now, if you feel that you know someone that needs my assistance, you feel that you are that person that needs that assistance, or you just want to have a consult, a free consult with me, you can call me. You can call me. You can email me or you can messenger me. You can hit me up here on Facebook, and we'll set up an appointment. And we can do that over Skype, FaceTime, or the messenger. Okay, we can do that. So my number is 0415-805-256. Or you can hit me up on my email, which is info@sanfordmcmurrayjr.com. Thank you guys very much for listening, and I look forward to speaking to you all soon. You know what I'm going to say, don't you? That's right. I'm going to say it. Love your mission. Peace.